Hi there, villains. Welcome to the world of Temple Tutu. It's a reality where ridiculousness reigns and all signs point to the absurd. It's a place where fathers are lesbians, quarterbacks break into Britney Spears lyrics, and where your grandmother might just be a terrorist. Temple's world is where shit is at if you're a mid-operation male-to-female named Jessica Christopher, a former porn star named Dallas, or a grandmother who might just be a terrorist. It might not be the place for you if you're Temple's ne'er-do-well appendix, a female cat named Richard Hatch, or Mel Gibson. But if you're the gerbil, also known as the water boy for tomorrow's fencing champions, or a linebacker named Roar, all roads in Templetown may just lead to a white wedding in Vegas. Well, maybe off-white. First tale, it's called One Bitch Slap of a Good Beginning. Hey there. My name is Temple Tutu. That's right, Temple fucking Tutu. My father used to be a drag queen, and by used to be, I mean up until this morning. Temple Tutu was his drag name. He got this because he used to live on Temple Lane, and his first dog, a schnoodle, was named after Toto from The Wizard of Oz. I think he might have been dyslexic. With a name like Temple Tutu, you can be sure that I learned what a bitch slap was quickly in life too, because I used to get them all the time at school. Temple, that's such a weird name, someone would say. Listen, I know Temple Tutu is a ridiculous name, but it's my name, so what was I gonna do about it? Yeah, I might have a weird name, but thank Paula Abdul I don't have to live with your face, I would say. That's when I get the bitch slap, and those are from the teachers. P.S. My father is now a lesbian, but I'm getting way ahead of myself, so let's back this boat up to the beginning. My life began at precisely 5:59 a.m. on Valentine's Day. If there was ever a ridiculous time to be born, this was it. For anybody who's not aware, it's fucking freezing on Valentine's Day in Canada, especially that early in the morning. I was clearly already preparing myself emotionally for a lifetime of menial labor on the graveyard shift by popping through my mother's water pot at such an unfathomable hour. Unfortunately, I failed to get the memo that said I was going to be lazy and would spend the rest of my life trying to avoid work of any kind, let alone hard work at the crack of dawn, until I was on the final turn of the wild ride that is life. What the fuck is this shit? I thought to myself, and quickly tried to put in for a refund by reversing back up into Belinda's belly. Screw this wound to Tom Shiznik, I thought. When that didn't work, I tried tying my own umbilical cord around my neck. If nothing else, you've got to give it to me, I was resourceful. I also wanted to stick it to the night staff, all of whom had to put in some overtime after I decided to waddle through Belinda's urethra in the last 30 seconds of their shift. It was a long time ago, but I'm fairly certain one of the nurses said, maybe we should just let this one go. I have a breakfast reservation at Denny's and I don't want to be late. Seriously, bitch? I thought to myself. That's the other thing about me. I swear. A lot. If you've ever had one of their grand slams with my Latin lover, Jamal, you wouldn't have bothered to ask, she said, before she pointed me with a death stare, as though I had pissed on her leg, which I then proceeded to do. People have always commented that I was born bright and early, but I prefer to believe that I was meant to be born the night before and just pushed it off for 11 hours to ensure a full night's sleep, on my part anyway. I've procrastinated my entire life, and I no doubt got started on it right then and there. I knew this life was going to be nothing to write home about, and I was in no rush to get it started. This would be the same inane logic that a friend of mine used when deciding not to file taxes for the first decade, the decade preceding what we now call his big move. He said, I haven't filed taxes for the last 9 years, why would I start now? Besides, if you've never filed them, you have no legal obligation to do so. Apparently this was not the opinion held by the district attorney, who's ensured that now he's spending 2 days a week reporting to provincial lockup. With good behavior, he'll be able to begin filing taxes in 5 to 10. His theory, like mine at the time, was if you don't start something, you won't have to finish it. We both got screwed. Him by his cellmate, a large Irish man named Jorge, and me by the fact that 3 minutes into this life, I'd already failed at my first venture, suicide. I was, however, as blue as a Smurf when I popped out, probably the fat one that got axed from the show for fear of scaring the small children, as a result of the umbilical cord incident. I believe that I also clocked in at around 13 pounds. Yikes. Anyway, being born on Valentine's Day might sound romantic to you, but the ugly truth is, Valentine's Day is named after Saint Valentine, in recognition of the day that he was brutally murdered after having his eyes gouged out and his tongue hacked off by a vicious mob. Try getting in the mood with that image in your head. I don't care how many candles you have on the go. And if you think it's still romantic, put this book down and seek professional help immediately. I can recommend at least half a dozen mediocre therapists, one of whom suggests the use of stickers to overcome everything from life's petty jealousies to post-traumatic stress disorder. Oh, you can put a sticker on almost anything around you. When you see it, take a relaxing inhalation and just let go of all your frustration, she'd say, as she handed me 40 stickers of varying sizes, textures, and glossiness. I took the biggest, most sparkly one and stuck it across her mouth just to shut her up. Then I took a big relaxing inhalation and let go of all my frustrations. But I say I've lived a life of ridiculosity because it's fucking true. I followed up the umbilical cord incident, as my mother calls it, with a jaunt down a 17-step flight of stairs, landing on a cement floor in my walker at around 8 months old. This resulted in nothing less than a broken nose and the loss of enough brain cells to ensure I won't be coming up with any new mathematical theorems anytime soon. When my mother found me at the bottom of the stairs, she reacted with what I'm sure she thought was the appropriate amount of concern. "My goodness! I'll whip you over to the emergency room as soon as my soaps are over." Thanks, Belle. Next came the idea that it would be fun to sit at the bottom of a hotel swimming pool when I was 3 years old, while on my first family vacation. Note that a vacation to the Tutu family was spending a night at the Holiday Inn and a potential drowning, our version of dinner and a movie. I actually don't know how long I was down there, till my father noticed me staring up at him and waving through the ice chips at the bottom of his now empty rum and coke. But I'm reasonably sure it was long enough that my parents are lucky that my first favorite hobby isn't drooling on myself. It's my second favorite. Anyhow, by the time I was 4, I knew enough to know that I wasn't going to accomplish this suicide pact I'd commissioned with myself. Not the last time laziness got in the way of what would have otherwise probably been a great decision. So I set about moving forward with the ridiculousness that is my life. Stay tuned for the next Tale from the Temple. Bye.